What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Social Club where everyone has a voice. I'm your host, Jacob Hale, joined with me by Cam Saunders.
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, I'm starting to like being in the studio more often, man. This the love and reactions we get from y'all is kind of like encouraging us to push out more content, man. So we appreciate y'all, man. I'm happy to be recording again.
Yeah, and then saying that, so we started this podcast, sports show, whatever you want to call it. We started that a month ago, but we have what, 150 followers, has to be over.
Half a million
Yeah,
at least
probably over
views.
500,000 views, everything like that. So I just want to say, first of all, again, I really appreciate all of you guys for the support you've been giving us. Thousands, it feels like thousands of comments that we've gotten. And again, we just started a month ago. Like none of us thought it would take form like this. And it's all because of you guys and your support and all of you guys' opinions and takes, whether they're good or bad. But all in all, we definitely appreciate you guys. And in saying that, it kind of leads me into what this episode's going to be about. But before I announce the topic, go ahead and like, follow, subscribe, comment down below. As you see, we're very active on all of our socials. So whenever you comment, we always try to respond or give our take or wherever we need to do. And then if you're not in, join the Discord. Discord is just a lot more freeing, a lot more lighthearted. People can put up bets, people can just talk to each other, have long conversations and stuff. It's just a lot easier platform to connect with you guys than through Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, so Discord is just a little bit easier for us to see everything. Instagram, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, is getting a little bit harder to see every single thing. It really is getting a little bit harder to see every single thing, but you know, we're gonna keep our best to keep y'all engaged. And we started this thing just to talk, ball with different people and get different opinions. So we loving it. So Discord is just a little bit better to get our attention compared to Instagram. So, it's important if you really want to talk to us and just talk ball, kick the shits, just hit us up on Discord.
So, what is this topic about? We're going to talk about the great state of Ohio again, but this time it's just a little bit different. So, as you guys know, we have an audience led segment where we read your comments and then give you our replies to it, put it in a video, send it out every Sunday. However, at times, because we're commenting and letting you guys know that we're going to shout you out, at times we do forget certain people and their comments and everything. So there was one supporter in particular that he was talking to us a lot. He was a very supportive. He was great and everything. And
Actually, from day one, also. So he's been with us since before we had 10 followers. I think he just saw us on his Instagram feed, and
yeah,
he's been active, and we appreciate it. And he's just been talking ball, kicking this, kicking it with us, and we really appreciate him. So
right. So, I felt bad about missing this comment, but in general, I just straight up asked him, I was like, hey, like, what do you want us to, what topic idea do you have? And if it's good, then we'll actually do it. So he gave us some topic ideas. We're going to roll through it. Again, it's about the Ohio State football, if it's not too obvious, but um, let's get right into it. First, I'll ask you, championship game tomorrow, who do you have between Ohio State and Notre Dame?
Before I give my opinion,
Hmm.
which is my opinion, I do want to say to the state of Ohio, I promise you, me and Hell, we love y'all as a state, because the people in Columbus truly think we hate Ohio State. So I wanted to tell the people in Columbus, hey man, we got a lot of love for y'all, and I promise you, we do not hate y'all out there in Ohio. All right. Now, with that being said, I'm taking Notre Dame. All right. Here we go. I think the reason why I'm taking Notre Dame is because I think what I seen from Ohio State. Now, remind you, Texas is a really good team. And I think Texas struggled at time with quarterback play. It was a lot of check down merch the entire game. They didn't really have the explosive play to beat Ohio State. But what I can tell you is that the reason why I'm taking Notre Dame is because for sure I think they just going to straight up out physical Ohio State. I think Notre Dame is a big physical football team, and I think they're just going to really just win the battle in the trenches. I think Notre Dame is going to out physical Ohio State and win the battle in the trenches. With that being said, is I think they got good enough DBs to match up with Ohio State receivers. I think they got great D line who would get after the quarterback and make it really uncomfortable for Will Howard. and I just think their defense is going to carry them to a national championship win. I really do. And I think Texas gave the formula of slowing down Ohio State. Don't get me wrong. I don't think nobody can stop Ohio State, but I do think Ohio State can be slowed down. And I if don't correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they often scored 21 points and their defense had a fumble, scoop and score for a touchdown, which made it to 28. So I think Texas did a really good job of giving Notre Dame a formula of how to slow them down, and I do think Notre Dame defense is better than Texas. And if you really want my ideal score, I'm taking Notre Dame. I am taking Notre Dame 27-18 Notre Dame.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you right now that I have nothing negative to say about Ohio State, the great state of Ohio, and the great city of Columbus, okay? I'm not betting against them. One, I'm not out of my mind. And number two, they just got it this year. They really do. Their talent is just amazing, and it's good for them for being able to put it together. Like, we all gave them a lot of crap for that Michigan loss, but that's what really drove them to now what the product you see on the field. Honestly, Notre Dame is just going to be outmanned. They don't have enough. They don't have enough power on defense to really slow down these guys. I don't feel like, and then more importantly, because no one's talking about this, are you really trusting Riley Leonard to score 27 points against Ohio State? Which, if you guys don't know, Ohio State has the number one red zone defense. So I guess we all learned something today.
We did.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't see it. And honestly, I'm gonna show you my bet, but I'm gonna be dead honest with you. Like, I would have chose Ohio State minus 13 and a half. I only say that because, again, Notre Dame's great defense. I think they'll do a solid job, but again, I do not trust Riley Leonard at all to not only pass the ball, but to get the offense down the field to even score. So I think it's going to be still a grimy game, but I don't think Notre Dame scores more than 14, to be honest with you. And then Ohio State, I'd say probably like 24, 28. So I'm thinking like a similar to a Texas 28-14. However, it's going to be different. Like, it's going to be 28 with 4 touchdowns on the Ohio State offense than how they did against Texas.
The reason why I think Notre Dame is going to pull this off is because I think Riley Leonard is slightly better than Quinn Ewers. I really do. Even though Riley Leonard cannot, like, he don't show it with his arm, but he can run the football with his legs. He have legs. His legs literally won the game, won their last game versus Penn State. His legs. He has legs. He can run the ball. If he cannot throw it, he can run it. And mind you, it ain't like he's not inaccurate. He can make the intermediate throws. He can make the 7 to 12 yard throws down the field. And also he has some very good playmakers at wide receiver that get a lot of yak yards. And then if the pass is not there, he can run. You got to account for one extra person in the run. Quentin Ewers was a damn deer in headlights. He didn't do nothing but move left, one step to the left, one step to the right, either sack or 1 yard check down. Right. So I think the quarterback play will be better for Notre Dame. And if you want my honest opinion, I really do think that Notre Dame D line is way better than Texas D line. And I really think that they can really cause a lot of trouble for Will Howard. And I don't know. I'm taking the underdog here. Like, it's no hate against Ohio State. I just like what I see from Notre Dame, and I think it's their time. I really do think it's their time this year.
I knew you were on BS when you showed up with a Patriots Mac Jones jersey. I don't even know where you bought that from, to be honest with you. But the world where you think Riley Leonard is better than Quinn Ewers, you're going to get a lot of people fired. If you were an NFL GM, you would get a lot of people fired.
Well, let's go production then. Production wise, let me truly ask you a question. What can Quinn Ewers do that Riley Leonard can't?
Pass the ball. Quinn Ewers is definitely a better passer than Riley Leonard. 1,000%. It's not even close.
See, here's the thing: you can't make that assumption because we haven't really seen Riley Leonard throw the ball. Now, decision making, yes, I will say that Quinn Ewers' decision making may be a little bit better than Riley Leonard's. But when Riley Leonard was at Duke, he was slinging that rock. He was slinging it. Why do you think he got the transfer to go to Notre Dame and they made him the starting quarterback? At Duke, he put on a show.
Now, Cam, we're in the national championship game, and you're saying we haven't seen him be a true passer and pass the ball. There's a reason for that. With this man has had 14 games in Notre Dame, and you're saying like, oh, well, he was slinging it at Duke. He's not slinging it at Notre
They
Dame.
got a good run game.
No,
They have a good run game.
dude, his passing is really bad. Did you see that Penn State game? That Penn State game, to sum it all up, two great teams, two great defenses, two great run games, and two QBs that needed to get shot in the head. Because both of those QBs were trying to lose the game the entire game. I think Riley Leonard he had 0 touchdowns. He either had 0 or 1, and he had 2 interceptions. Like, that was disgusting QB play for both of those teams.
Listen. I'm telling you, it's going to be a different story. Notre Dame money line.
All right, we'll see what happens. But John, so shout out to John Shumate. He actually had a question for us, and I'll read it out loud here. He says, Jacob, in my Kendrick voice. This is not an apples to apples comparison. Ryan is the only weapon on Bama. Will Howard is now a pocket passer. If you watch the film, his passing has been suspect, but the superior receivers play make him look good. Howard is playing much better in the playoffs. Jeremiah Smith plays with 3 other 5-star receivers, 2 1K running backs. Go on, number one offense. Ryan Williams is dope. I love his game, but please don't compare him to Jeremiah Smith. So we're back on the Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith conversation. Here's what I want to know, and I'm curious on your take. Does it make Jeremiah Smith better that he has a lot more talent around him? Or is that used as an excuse to say, well, the only reason why you're having so many yards is because they can't cover everyone on the field. So they can't just hone in on you the whole time.
As a former receiver, um,
Go ahead.
as a former receiver, how do I want to put this? As a one more time, as a former receiver, I would rather play with a lot of skill guys around me than me being the best receiver on my team. And it's a big drop off between the number 2. And the reason being is because most defensive coordinators are very smart. And what most good defensive coordinators will do is they will take their number 2 cornerback and put them on your best receiver and double them with the safety. They will take your number 1 lockdown corner, put him on your number 2 receiver, and completely take him out of the game. Not who you got to throw to. Matter of fact, that's what the Chiefs did last night versus the Texans. They took McDuffie, put him on the number 2, and they doubled Nico Collins with their number 2 corner and the safety.
Yep.
So, if they would have had Tank Dell and they would have had Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins would have went ballistic because they can't sit there and just double team Nico and be able to stop Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs. You know what I mean? It would have been a different ball game if it would have been receivers. So yes, like what Ryan Williams was able to do, and this is why I kind of agree with you. It is a comparison there, but obviously Smith is better to me. That's just my opinion, but it is an argument for it because Ryan Williams, I don't think it was no other big time receiver on Bama that was taking some ease off of Ryan Williams' behalf because it's nobody else to throw to, right? If Ryan Williams was on Ohio State, I think his productions would have been crazy, insane because maybe he would not been the wide receiver 1. You don't need everybody to be the wide receiver 1 to be a threat. But he would have been used in such a unique gadget to where he would have been a problem for defenses. You'd be able to play him on the outside. You'd be able to play him in the slot, match him up against linebackers, play him at running back, motion him out. You know what I mean? Play him in the slot versus safeties. Like right now, if you see a lot of what Chip Kelly doing with Jemai Smith is that he's motioning him into the slot, matching him up against safeties, so that way he can run routes on safeties that can't cover like cornerbacks. Well, if Jeremiah Smith was on that team, you wouldn't have to motion nobody because you got Jeremiah Smith that will cook corners all day long. So, like, it is a comparison there. Smith to me, is better, but Ryan Williams, if he was on that Ohio State team, it would be a totally different conversation, which would validate your argument more.
Yeah, and we'll bookmark that because I actually do have a question regarding to that. But my comment to John, or my response to that, is that well, one, when you're comparing Will Howard to Jalen Milroe as a passer, you would think it would be closer, but
It's not.
you
It's
would
not.
see those last 6 games, Jalen Miller was absolute trash. He was a one read and run guy. And granted, they were winning games and they were an earshot of actually being in the playoffs, but we gotta call for what it is. It was like he played really bad, and just like what you alluded to is that when you're just the number one guy, yeah, on one hand you're going to be force fed, you're going to be targeted a lot more, but on the other end, there's no one to relieve that pressure from you.
Mm-hmm.
So most teams at the end of the year, especially that Oklahoma team, they were just like, okay, well, if we just guard him, who's he going to throw to? Just guard him,
Stop the
keep
run.
keep him in the pocket, and force him to throw to someone else. And then you saw they completely struggled. It was a terrible showing on all parts. So um, I think that matters. That's what I look for, and I give the advantage to Ryan Williams on that for sure. But I understand. I mean, that Texas picture is absolutely
Yes.
insane.
Yes.
That they had 3 people allocated to just him on that
Yes.
side. But one thing that pointed out though about Jeremiah Smith that everyone was trying to kill me on, but I'm telling you, I was right on this. I was saying Ryan Williams was a better route runner than Jeremiah Smith. And that Texas game kind of proved my point because even though he was triple covered, you saw he didn't really have a route tree that they were giving the guy. He was just primarily a deep threat that they were using him for. And then once they got rid of that, they just stopped throwing him the ball. Now it worked out for them, but that was kind of my point too. I was like, Ryan Lewis is a better route runner. Like he can run the whole route tree, short, medium, deep, everything like that. Not to say that Jeremiah Smith is just bad, but he's primarily a deep threat, and that's what they utilize him for, which is great. But that's why I noticed in that Texas game. I was like, well, okay, I get that they're triple covering him, but you see they didn't move him to the slot. They didn't move him around. They didn't give him short passes or anything like that. He got like 3 targets, and then they were like, all right, we're just not going to throw it deep. So they just changed the whole game plan.
Yeah, and that falls a little bit on Chip Kelly, in my opinion, because I think Chip Kelly kind of went in there cocky like they're not going to sit here and double team a true freshman receiver. Well, shit, they did. And shout out to Will Howard for actually looking for other targets because he picked that up early. Like, hey man, they got 2 over Smith, right? And that also tells a lot about a true freshman getting double teamed on a D1 level in a college football game, right?
Right.
That also tells a lot. Like, yo, bro, we have 3 people on a true freshman. Like, that explains a lot about who this guy is, right? So, I mean, like I said, I'm taking Smith all day long. I
Yeah.
mean, but you do have an argument because Ryan Williams. I didn't really think about that until we sat off camera and really talked about it. And yeah, you're right. Like, I can't think of another receiver that was really relieving that pressure off of Ryan. So
Yeah. So let me ask you a question though, because you were alluding to it. So if Ryan Williams was on Ohio State, what receiver on the depth chart would he be?
he wouldn't be considered. I seen shout out to this guy because I'm gonna use this guy as an example.
Hmm.
And this guy remind me of Ryan Williams, Zion Perry, right from UCM. Zion Perry. What
Shout
was
out to Zion.
what was Zion on the depth chart? He really wasn't nothing on the depth chart. He was a gadget that they used in Zion played every position from the X to the Y to the Z, and that's what Ryan Williams be. Ryan Williams wouldn't be on the depth chart at a particular spot at receiver. They will use him in every single position. Ryan Williams will be one of the players on Ohio State to where you need to learn every position at receiver because you can play the outside, you can play the slide, you can play running back, you can play the left hand side, you can play the field, you can play the boundary. He is somebody that what they will use as a gadget. And yeah, he will be in the starting lineup, but based off week to week basis and what teams play and what type of coverages they are, what type of formations they run, his position will switch based off the team package and defensive schemes they usually do. Now, mind you, Smith will always be the boundary receiver, but as far as like Ryan, they will mix him around between field, boundary, slot, but he will always be on the field as a true starter. I believe as a true freshman on the Ohio State team.
Yeah, I believe that too. So shout out to John. He actually sent me a graphic that he wanted to show me and you is that Ohio State has 4 5-star receivers on the roster. They have Jeremiah Smith,
Hmm.
obvious. They have Brandon Ennis. They have Carnell Tate, and then they have Amika Ebuka.
Yep.
Right. So if I want to play this safe and make everyone feel happy, then I would say that Ryan Williams will most likely be the receiver 3, just based off how that team is structured. Right. So they're playing Jeremiah Smith like a true number 1 deep threat. and then they're using Abuka as their wide receiver two gadget player, right,
Hmm.
to actually run
I
the
thought that
route
was more
tree.
like Tate. Like, well, unless Tate played a true like slot receiver, because I thought Tate was kind of like moving around
Yeah.
everywhere in that game.
You might be right. So Tate probably is more of their gadget player, and because he's playing the slot,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then Abuka
It's
is
to the
the
field, to
yeah,
the field. He's
he's
to the
to the
field.
field.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So if I want to play it safe and make everyone feel good about themselves, I would say he'd be the receiver three. He'd be the Carnell Tate. And I think that suits Ryan Williams really well, for what his skill set is and what he's able to do. Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Where would you rank him as far as speed on the team? Ryan Williams, receiver.
Okay, people hate me, but I think he's faster than Jeremiah Smith.
What would
I
you put
do.
him on that Ohio State team as far as speed? Like, what would you put him one, two, three? Like, if all the receivers, like, who? Where would you put Ryan Williams on the field as far as speed?
I think I think he's the fastest receiver, unless there's just some random crazy
This is my
speed guy
pushback to you.
that can't catch the ball.
This is my pushback to you though.
But
If speeds kill and everybody want a Tyreek Hill, a speedy receiver that can literally take the top off, why would he be receiver three when you got the fastest receiver on your team with good ball skills? So
yeah,
why would he fall in that number three spot? If he's the fastest guy on your team with great ball skills and he can run every route on the route tree, why would he be three?
well, I don't see them not because even
Uh,
though
Go ahead, I'm listening. Go ahead.
it's, I got this. All right, just let me think. But so the reason why is it just comes off of personnel, right? So Ryan Williams can play the true number one. However, can that true number one responsibility play the receiver three gadget player, right? So that was my argument with Jeremiah Smith. Is that it would make more sense to keep Jeremiah Smith that's the number one deep threat because that's where he's best at. But if you force him into the slot, it's not that he'll do bad. It's just there's better players that have a better skill set for that. Ryan Williams is a smaller player. I think he runs a better. He's
He's
a better
twitchier.
route
He's
runner. Yeah,
faster. Yeah.
yeah. So you just be better in that position. But it's interchangeable. I mean, you can still throw a deep ball to Ryan Williams, just the same as Jeremiah Smith can run a slant route, right? So that's what I think. If I was Chip Kelly, what I would do, I'd just keep him Jeremiah Smith as one as a deep threat. Keep Abuka for two reasons. One, he's a great player, but two,
Possession. He's a
it,
possession receiver. He can
right,
catch
and he's
anything.
been in the system
Yeah.
the whole. I mean, he's been what, like 4 years there or something.
Mhm.
But yeah, keep him at that too, and then yeah, do your Ryan Williams is your ultimate threat. He's literally everywhere on the field. He's getting the carries. He's
If you
doing
got
all that
Ryan
stuff, right?
Williams and Tate as two gadget players, you got a
Yeah.
good receiver crew. You
Now,
got it.
here's what I will say though. I think there's fair argument to say that Ryan Williams could have been the receiver too, and Abuka would have to go play the slot.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
If I have a deep, if I have a true speedy receiver and he can take the top off, you don't even need him on the field to get the ball every play. Just run deep, take two safeties with you. I can run across or underneath, and
yeah,
next thing you know, everything underneath and then down the middle is wide open because I got you running post and go balls all day long. You know what I mean? And then yeah, if they want to sit there and play you man to man, you better have a cornerback that runs a 4-2 that can keep up with Ryan Williams.
right.
Or I'm taking the top off every freaking play. Right? So that's why I like speed kills, man. If I'm offense coordinator, if I got a speedy receiver like a Tyreek Hill that got great ball skills, he is going to be in the lineup and he's going to be on the field every play he possibly can. That's just my argument.
Yeah, if I was him, if I was Chip Kelly, I would run a lot more bracket formation with them, and then also what is it, trios?
Trips.
Trips. Yeah, I'll run a lot more trips too, just with all that talent. But just in that setup alone, it's so hard for a defense to match up on all that talent on where they can go,
Oh yes.
and your route combination that you can make from trips would be absolutely insane with all of that talent. Like they can literally go
To
anywhere. Any one of those players can go deep. Any one of those players can deep out. Deep in. It's
to
just
beat
it's
Ohio State,
crazy.
you ain't going to be able to play man versus them unless you got a crazy D line that can get back there within 3 seconds. You're going to have to play zone and hope that your D line gets there. Like literally, you got to beat Ohio State. You got to get after the quarterback. If you let Will Harris sit back there all day, they are going to pick you apart.
Right.
They are going to destroy you. You need a D line and you need to be able to stop the run to beat Ohio State.
So last question for you, because out of curiosity, again, I get it. You guys are Ohio State fans, but this is getting kind of ridiculous. So, in regards to Travis Hunter here, if they had to play each other and Travis had to go man on Jeremiah Smith, who do you think is winning that one-on-one battle throughout the game?
If you're doing a let's I'm gonna be real. If you're doing let's just say 10 reps, best out of 10. Travis Hunter's probably gonna win 7 out of the 10 times. Travis Hunter's gonna win the rep if he's playing corner. Reason why I'm saying that, at the end of the day, he's still a true freshman, right? Like he could be like Travis Hunter is a seasoned junior. Like he's a Heisman Trophy winner. Like nobody throws his way. Let's not be too crazy now. Like he's still a true freshman. Like you said, the guy can't run every route on the route tree, and if he can, like it may not be as polished if the guy was a junior, like 2 years down the road. Like right. So like let's not get crazy. Like if they was to go at it with each other right now, Travis Hunter is gonna win majority of the reps. Let's not go too crazy. But if you let Smith get polished, it's a different conversation for a different day. But right now, hell no. Like Smith can't do nothing with a Heisman Trophy winner. Let's
Yeah.
put some respect on Travis Hunter's name now.
Yeah. I definitely think Travis has the advantage on that, but for a couple of reasons. Is that one, Travis is a lot bigger than what people think.
Oh yeah, he's 6'3".
Yeah, he's legit like a 6'3", 175, 180 and such, but he is a great cornerback side. Like that is phenomenal. He's just as fast. He can keep up with
Can
anyone.
jump out of the gym.
Yep, jump out of the gym, everything. With Travis Hunter, I think what will make it really interesting is in an actual game setting how he would do. So I don't believe that Travis will let him score. And honestly, if I was Will Howard, like I wouldn't even be throwing that way. I would try to manipulate, move him around to get Jeremiah Smith off of
Yeah.
Travis Hunter on the play. But in this scenario, yeah, I don't think he'd let him score. However, the way Travis Hunter plays and the way that defense plays, they're definitely going to play back. So Jeremiah Smith will definitely be racking up a lot of yardage. And I think it will make more sense. He can get to 80, 100 yards receiving, but I don't think he's going to score at
My
all on that.
my biggest determining factor of who's going to win that matchup is it comes down to who got better ball skills right now, Travis Hunter or Jemai Smith.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It's Travis Hunter
Yeah,
because
I'm giving
Travis
it to
Hunter can
Travis.
play corner and receiver. Travis Hunter got way better ball skills.
Yeah.
So I know it's probably some people thinking like Travis Hunter ain't gonna be able to stop the fade ball. Who has better ball skills? Because all a fade ball is hey, when the ball's in the air, who can go get the ball, me or you? Right?
Yeah.
Unless Will Howard throw a golly back shoulder throw, if that ball's in the air, Travis Hunter can play the ball really well because he played receiver. He know where the ball what type of ball needs to be and where it's probably going to be based off his coverage. So
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna give Travis some great advice if that ever did happen. Is that whatever you do not play man because you play man with safety help. Your safety help is Shiloh.
yeah, yeah,
And that that man is going to get torched.
yeah,
So whatever you do, play back.
yeah. Just scoop back.
But anyway, appreciate you guys. This is a great episode. This is a lot of fun. Let us know down in the comments below. First, who do you guys have between Notre Dame and Ohio State? But then also, what do you think about some of the stuff we discussed? Do you think Travis Hunter would win one-on-one against Jeremiah Smith? Do you think Ryan Williams will be the receiver 2 or 3 on Ohio State? Or would he not even touch the field?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Let us know.
But let us know. And again, subscribe down below, comment, follow us on Instagram where we post every single day. And of course, join the Discord if you guys want to talk to us more. But other than that, anything from you?
No, I appreciate y'all. Stay tuned, man. More stuff coming, man.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next one.